social media can be a godsend when it's coming to show you and opening avenues of communication that are untapped and unmanipulated. However, it also has the immense power to fearmonger. Brie T episode 9.5. Take 1. I don't know if this is a good idea, but we're doing it. Hi everyone, welcome back to this episode of Brie T TV. As you can tell from the title, it is episode 9.5. I'm coming to you with a beat face, not done hair, and my Scooby-Doo sweatshirt because we are in a quarantine or social distancing era. And this was supposed to be episode 10, but episode 10 needs a little bit more tweaking. I'm really excited for it, so I pushed it back a week and I gave you episode 9.5 simply because we all had to put a lot of creative projects on hold because this week and last week shit with the COVID-19 hit the fan for the United States. Yeah, the United States, because everybody else saw it coming, but apparently the United States really didn't. And so this episode is just to talk about some things that have been going on in relation to media and being media creatives. And yeah, so let's get on with that episode. So, like I said, coronavirus, or if you're a little dazzler and want to sprinkle in, COVID-19 recently overtook the United States. It's not, now when I say recently, this is nothing new to the United States. Coronavirus had been an ever-present looming threat to the United States for quite some time. But the United States never seemed to take anything super seriously, which is why we have a shit ton of spring breakers still in Miami trying to go to the beach and be on top of each other. And now everyone is scrambling because the cases of positive the positive cases of coronavirus, there we go, are rapidly rising, especially in urban cities where everyone is on top of each other. New York and LA being the big hitters who are really trying to stress the point, we will collapse, the death toll will increase because we have a lot of people. And so I've been watching how traditional media, the news, also how social media, Facebook and Instagram and the apps are covering the coronavirus. And let me just say, I'm hella irritated across the board, okay? One, the news is doing an okay job. I would say the news stations are doing an okay job of stressing social distancing and covering the coronavirus. However, you can tell that no one is doing extra legwork. Okay, let me break this down. So compare coronavirus to a hurricane hitting or a tornado hitting Tornado Valley. So there is a section of the United States called Tornado Valley, which is obviously called Tornado Valley because they get a lot of freaking tornadoes. When the news is covering natural disasters like hurricanes or tornadoes or earthquakes, they are pulling statistics and facts and, giving great graphics and, we're watching the Weather Channel, we're trying to brace. But I feel like when it comes to COVID-19, me personally watching Philadelphia and the tri-state area, Philadelphia, Philadelphia, New Jersey, and Delaware, our news stations, they're really just being extremely repetitive. So people are quite losing interest, but they are still giving out facts. They're stating you should social distance. They're interviewing doctors who are saying the ones who should really be worried are the people in the health professions. While this is a manageable disease, you are not taking social distancing seriously, and we're paying the cost for it. However, that does not translate over to social media. So I really have no beef with how the news is covering the coronavirus, because it's just how they cover usually every fucking thing. It's repetitive, it's the same stuff, it's the same kind of headlines, the same taglines, blah blah blah. My beef is with this girl over there on that couch. My beef is with social media, because social media reveals the vulnerability and the gullibleness. Because I don't want to say people are stupid, even though that's the first word that comes to my mind. I don't think they're stupid. I think it reveals the vulnerability to how extremely gullible the United States and just the masses are as a whole. Just how the lack of education and information is being spread, and that's why we're getting like all these conspiracy theories. Because let me say this, I love a good conspiracy theory. I like putting my little tinfoil hat on and like looking at all the facts. However, this isn't something that is a conspiracy, because, you know, I saw the tweets like, this happens every election year. Okay, that could be a conspiracy. However, I don't think coronavirus, the COVID-19, is an actual conspiracy. Why? Because it's called COVID-19. Now, when coronavirus started spreading to the United States, because mind you, no one in the United States gave a shit when it was in China, when it was in Italy, when it was spreading to like the European side. It wasn't a big deal until it touched down our US soil, and someone who traveled to China brought it back to, I think it was Washington State, was the first reported US case. Then all of a sudden we're all talking about coronavirus. Now, people were, I saw these and it was bothering me. Someone made this whole Facebook post talking about, look at your Clorox wipes. And on the Clorox wipes, where it says what it fights against or what it combats with its 99.9% effectiveness, is one states human coronavirus. Now, if Americans paid attention to when the coronavirus was in China, you would have heard on BBC, if you watch BBC, a non-American manipulated news station, they told you that coronavirus is just a generic name. They have not named the coronavirus. Coronavirus is a generic name given to the type of virus that this is. A virus that attacks, I believe it's the RNA strands in humans, which goes towards your respiratory system. But no one listened, and so this conspiracy theorist made this Facebook post and like this fake article saying that like, oh, how long did we not know about this? How come they weren't telling us? How long has coronavirus been up in here? Since humans been up in Earth, okay? Coronaviruses exist. That's why they call it COVID-19. It's the 19th coronavirus to be listed and tracked in human history. But I guarantee you there has been a shit ton more, okay? They just haven't given it a name like Ebola or SARS or, you know, any of these abbreviations. They just called it COVID-19 or coronavirus. COVID-19 means there's 18 others. So, I saw that spiraling, and once that, like, people that I was like, not people, yeah, some like family members and like people I grew up with were like, look at this shit, it's been on, they're hiding it from us, they're trying to infect, not what? What? You got this from a Facebook link, a Facebook article that I guarantee you did not click. And this is why, there's a method to where I'm ranting, this is why I don't like when social media plays a role, a heavily role when it comes to information. Now, I will say social media has been a godsend to people who actually use it to spread information. Genuine, factual, real life information. If we're looking at like the WhatsApp being used in the favelas in Brazil, they're using that app to keep up with each other, to let them know what police brutality crimes are happening, what murder just occurred, what's happening, to try to keep each other safe. If you're looking at the use of Twitter, where people during that epidemic in Egypt where the government was shutting down the internet and like basically like committing crimes against their own people. People were running to Twitter and taking video and sharing information that was happening in real time, and within 5 seconds was shared across the world. That's what I love about social media. But when it comes to this, social media can be a godsend when it's coming to show you and opening avenues of communication that are untapped and unmanipulated. However, it also has the immense power to fearmonger. And this is what the coronavirus and social media is doing, is fearmongering. Because you have people thinking that for somehow every country in the world decided to poison its humans. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. And not only that, haven't we learned that from the 2016 election, and I don't give a shit who you voted for, we're not going to debate fucking politics, but we're going to talk about facts. In the 2016 election, Facebook had been proven to be a hub for fake news, for false advertisement, propaganda, Russian bots. That's why now everybody's a bot. When they reply to something that's not your opinion, you're like, oh, look at this bot, right? That's where we got it from. But Facebook was proven that that's what they were doing. That's what was going on with these articles. And since then, 4 years later, Facebook is still trying to come out with a way to fact check. Okay? And as humans, it has been proven since the 2016 election debacle with social media that we don't actually click on articles that we share. So you're sharing an article that may say, look, the coronavirus has always been here. They ain't telling us shit about this. They're trying to kill us. And if you actually click on the damn link, 1, it could be a Russian webcam. 2, it could literally be a joke where it's saying like, you were really dumb enough to believe that. But you're not clicking on links, so you don't know. So that's like my biggest pet peeve with social media during these kind of epidemics, these pandemics, is people are so quick not to do research. And you would think something as serious, if you're that fearful of the coronavirus, of something like this, of this health scare, why aren't you getting multiple sources? Why are you just sharing and resharing false information that you're not fact checking? You're not fact checking. So you mean to tell me you're not going to believe someone whose script on TV, because news anchors have scripts, that has been vetted by 4 different people before it got in front of the camera, but you're going to believe something that takes you 2 seconds to reshare? And I guarantee the people I saw on my timeline did not open the link. And yes, I was quick to go under their comments and like actually correct them, because you can't be this dumb with children, because y'all all had kids who were doing it. So before I rant even further, the whole point of this is that as we're content creators, we still owe it to the audience to be factual, right? When I make a film, even though the film is coming from my voice, from my eyes, I still, which is why pre-production, research gathering is important, because I need to let people know that what I'm talking about is actually factual. At least it's factual from the point of view I'm trying to push out there. However, and so just keep that in mind when you're creating content. Especially when you're creating content and it's on social media. Because if you are trying to be like an influencer, or you have a very high following due to your creative work, that means you have a platform. That means there are some people, and you would like to think every single one of your followers, your supporters, are not just blindly supporting you. However, social media has manipulated that thinking into having people think that the people they follow with a high number of followers are people who are experts in every area of life. So you need to then be careful about what you post as a creative with a following, as a creative with an audience. I know it's like I shouldn't have to raise 21-year-olds into understanding that I don't know everything. You do, because social media has warped our sense into thinking that the higher the amount of followers they have, as many snaps as we give them because they're caption or their poetry or their piece was amazing, you tend to now think that they know everything. Everything they speak on, they know all of it and they know everything about it. And that's not true. Sometimes we just have opinions. Sometimes we have thought processes that are really uneducated. Like speaking of coronavirus, when coronavirus came out, I knew I didn't recognize the name. So I Googled what's coronavirus, and the first thing that popped up was a bio dictionary definition stating what a coronavirus is, which led me to believe they didn't name the coronavirus. And then I said, okay, went and I searched what's the real name of coronavirus that happened in China, and there was an article that literally popped up and said they had not named it yet. And then they came out and named it COVID-19, right? I knew that. I needed to research that. I have a following. It's not super high. But if I were to go on my story and say, pulled up, a Clorox wipey or hand sanitizer, or tell people that hand sanitizer and masks are the only line of defense, which is inaccurate, it's not true, talk to your health professions, then I'm misleading them. I'm absolutely misleading them. We don't want to be a Vanessa Hudgens, okay? Okay. Moving on to our next topic. Our next topic is because the coronavirus has stuck everybody inside, and those who are not considered essential personnel are ordered to work from home if possible, or just to stay home. It has shook up life. I will say I am very lucky to be one of the ones who are able to still have some source of income. I can work from remote. Okay. Don't like my job, but I know that I'm very grateful that I can still have funds come in and, still live. However, there are some people who are in the food industry, hair industry, beauty industry, just a lot of industries who are deemed not essential and are now forced to work with no income. And I think it's really, really showing just how disgusting corporations truly are to their employees. Like, we knew they were disgusting in the past, but this is now waking everybody up, I think. I saw a tweet and it was my brother was told he was laid off from the Marriott, so he went to go get unemployment, and the unemployment called the Marriott, and the Marriott was like, oh no, he's not laid off, he's just on a 0-hour schedule. You, sir, are the devil. The devil. The absolute devil. That is disgusting to do to your employees. So, if you are a creative who your full-time income was your freelance work, if you're an artist, if you create paintings, drawings, graphics, if you create films, photographies, still work, music, and your income has been disrupted by this quarantine, excuse me, my nose itches, disrupted by this quarantine, please feel free to reach out. I'm actually on my Instagram story asking for any artists that follow me to talk about commissioning some work, so I can send some funds, some ways to some creatives. And just let's keep in mind, if you have a GoFundMe for certain creatives or restaurant workers or anyone that's just genuinely laid off, link them down below in the comment section and peruse the GoFundMes that you want to support too. These aren't just scams. Their stadium are 2.5 billion people. Or million, I want to say it's a million, will be out of work, and then they lose benefits because we have this twisted, messed up thinking that we need our insurance from our employers. So yeah, if you're a creative during this time, I know it's super rough. It's rough for me. I know I was expecting to be in pre-production for a couple months, but I was also, the way I do pre-production is also going outside and going to different venues and checking out locations and doing all this scouting that involves me being around people, and that's disrupted. And while I get the whole reason for social distancing, I'm not calling it a scam. I'm not saying it's unnecessary. It's just very frustrating because it's we all had to put our lives on hold for a reason I honestly understand. So I understand if you guys are feeling extremely frustrated or just uncreative, there's the creative flow has stopped, and I obviously think nothing I talked about in my last video can help that flow because you're kind of in a limbo. None of the tips I gave were tips on how to handle no income because I didn't think that would come to a point where I had to reevaluate that either. I'm lucky I don't, but like I can't put myself in a creative position where they no longer have an income. I wouldn't begin to fathom how scary that is. And like I said, if you have some art you want me to buy, I'm definitely looking for pieces. I'm looking for music, graphics to help my channel. Please get in contact with me and let's like make stuff happen. I'm willing to buy phenomenal work from you phenomenal creatives. So hit me up on Instagram at my main page at Brie.tv or at Brie.tv.com. Hit me up on either of those. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Let's make this happen. Okay, like I said, I didn't know how long this video would be. I'm kind of feeling myself drained, so I'm actually gonna wrap up this video really quickly because, like I said, episode 10 is coming next week. I just have to finish some things and gather. I just have to gather a few more finishing touches and do a voiceover, and it's like a really good piece that I feel really good about. But my energy is draining. I'm not in a really good space creative wise, and it's not really to do with the quarantine, and it has really nothing to do with the coronavirus. It has everything to do with, you know, what I talked about in a few episodes past. Like, I'm really just questioning me being a creative, just the career I'm picking. It's kind of hard when there's like really no validation coming your way. You put all this work into it and you just feel like you're throwing all this hard work and all this energy into like this black hole, and nothing comes out of a black hole. And I just feel really like discouraged, and I don't know, I just feel like I just talk to a black hole. Like I put effort into content, and I put effort into my career, and I know hard work and things come to those who wait, but I feel like I'm watching, it feels like people are things are purposely being missed my way, and I'm literally just standing here like trying to flag it down, trying to get noticed, and it's just really hard. It really is hard, especially when you factor in social media and you have people who swear they support you, and you only have like 2 real supporters. And I know I have like 2 real supporters, and they know who they are because I tell them all the time how grateful I am for them. But like, you know, when people are doing like creative tags and they see your work, and it's just like, okay, well, I'm not good enough to be in this tag, you know. I'm really questioning the channel's longevity. I'm questioning my longevity as a creative right now. It's like I said, it's not really the quarantine or the coronavirus shutdown that's really got me feeling this way. I was feeling this way before, like when I was still going to work outside and interacting with people. I think it's just hitting me all at once now. And I think it also has to do with like I feel like I'm putting a lot of pressure on episode 10 because I see people like celebrating episode 50, and by the time they were at episode 5 they had like a bajillion followers and a lot of subscribers and a lot of like love shown their way, and it's just like, you know, I don't feel it, I don't see it, and I want to create work that I'm proud of, but sometimes, like I said, when you feel proud of something and no one else is really speaking up, you're questioning whether or not you should even feel proud. And that's just where I'm at right now. So I apologize for like my energy just dropping. Like, that's literally just how I felt. I was really just trying to fake pump energy from the beginning of the episode till now, and I couldn't muster any more fake energy, so I just dwindled down. So yeah, I'm just questioning a lot of things. Hopefully it shakes off and I get out of this dark rut by next week. But yeah. That's all for this episode of Brie T TV. I'm your girl Brie T, and yeah, I'll stay tuned for next week's episode of Brie T TV.